Well, good morning, everybody. It's day 4 of the Have a Less Stressful Marriage in 5 Days challenge. And this morning, let's review really quick what we've done so far this week. The first day, I've tried to reinforce with you just how important it is that you understand just who you are in God and what His plan is for you, and know that you are worth a good marriage. You are worth a fruitful life, and that He is there to help you do it. The next day, on Tuesday, we learned about changing the way you think, how the mind is literally renewed when we learn new ways of thinking. Yesterday, we looked at the big picture versus the little picture. What are the things you needed to let go of in order to improve your marriage? And today, we're going to talk about how to make a plan to keep this momentum going, so that the things that you started to work on this week, you'll be able to work on when we are done. And then tomorrow, I have something to help you continue to improve your marriage and continue to focus on your marriage in the weeks and months and even years to come. But today, we're going to look at rethinking your approach to your marriage. You see, a lot of times we let our marriages sort of bob around on the ocean of life, letting the current take us wherever it wants to. And we let the situations around us affect our stress levels and emotions. But if you renew your mind and allow God to control your thoughts and reactions, it will help keep the stress in check. And one way to control the stress in your marriage is to set goals. Setting goals is going to help give you a more positive attitude and reduce your stress levels for several different reasons. First of all, when you have goals and you're working toward them, it makes you feel like you're moving forward in life instead of just stagnating. And you know what a pond that doesn't flow anywhere looks like? It's green and mucky, and it doesn't support much life in its water. When you move forward, even if it's only a step at a time, you can help support the life in your marriage. When you're stagnant, the life doesn't grow. Yesterday, we talked about the big picture in your marriage. And if you set one and you visualize one and you determine what you can do to make that vision come true. And when you know what you need to do and you set a plan in place, that's what setting goals can do for you. As you complete the steps toward achieving your goal, you will see positive progress, letting you know that you're capable of controlling your thoughts about your relationship. Now, you cannot rewire your brain or change everything about your relationship or your marriage in one day, or even by the end of this 5-day challenge. There are so many moving parts to your marriage. But if you can find one thing that you want to change and focus on the progress in that one area, it will give you a more positive outlook on your marriage. Scripture talks about setting goals too. As we look at the verses, we'll see that setting goals is both smart and biblical. 2 Chronicles 15:7 says, "But as for you, be strong and do not give up, for your work will be rewarded." Talks about working toward the goals that you have set. In Psalms, it says, "May He give you the desire of your heart and make all your plans succeed." So God will bless the plans that you put in place, the goals that you set, as long as they are in line with His Word. Proverbs 16:3 says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans." So if you set the goals, you commit them to Him, you look for His guidance, they will come true. Jesus in Matthew chapter 17 said, "Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." So if the mountain you need to move, it's the stress in your marriage, the stress in your life, then He will help you to move that mountain with your plan, with your faith. And Philippians 4:13, "I can do all this through Him who gives me strength." So you can complete your goals. You can set your goals and you can complete them with Him. See, our God can do anything. Absolutely nothing is impossible with Him. So just have faith in God. And when you set goals that are in alignment with His will, He will help you achieve those goals. And since keeping your marriage together is in His will, then you can expect His assistance. When you set goals for your marriage, you must be sure that you're not being demanding that either the process happens the way you want it to, or that the result be exactly the way you want. Instead, when you set goals, be humble and let Him lead to make those goals. Improving your marriage is not an easy task. Setting goals can make the outcome clear, but you still need to do the hard work that comes with them. Don't give up when things get difficult or when you face disappointments. Now, setting goals, the best way to give your goal setting a better chance of succeeding is to use a framework called SMART goals. SMART goals have 5 characteristics that stand for the letters in SMART. They're specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Now, setting these goals, it can be done in any aspect of your life, either as an individual or as a group. And so it's possible for you to set goals for yourself and bring new life to your marriage without the specific support of your spouse. Your desire to improve yourself can have positive effects on your marriage. Of course, if you can nail down your spouse and get them to help you decide upon goals that you'd like to do together, then this system works even better. But let's take a look at how to write one of these SMART goals. Here's a framework that you can see that helps you decide how to set your goals and make sure that it has all 5 of those characteristics. It starts out with "we want to," and that's where you put in the goal that you want to achieve. So we want to go on date nights. We want to spend 5 minutes talking. We want to anything at all that fits into your marriage. And then at least, so are you going to do this every day, once a month, once a year, however frequently you want to do it? Because is a big one, because when you want to write down why you want to achieve this goal, because it keeps the purpose in mind as you are writing the goals and then trying to work on them. And then the last part is the part about being time bound, beginning on what date, or something you want to complete, you want to finish it by a certain date. There's many different types of goals that you can set, as there are couples in the world. Your marriage is unique and it has particular strengths and weaknesses. But here's a couple of different goals just to give you some ideas on where you might be able to start. Setting spiritual goals for your marriage shows that you want to invite God into your marriage. For spiritual goals, you can try a couple different things. Read the Bible together and discuss it. You can use a devotional that's designed specifically for couples. Try and pray together on a regular basis, and go to church together every week. Find a church that you can feel a part of. Another type of goal would be a companionship goal. These are the things that will help you spend more time with your spouse. So going on date nights a specific number of times a month, or every other week, every week. Doing just a daily check-in. Just one time a month on a date night is not enough to keep your relationship close. So you need to make sure that you find a couple minutes each day just to talk and look at some of the issues in your marriage. My husband and I used to do this each night after dinner was done, and the kids would get up from the table and we'd just sit and talk. And it was a great way to keep up with each other and what was going on. You can do something you both enjoy, like a hobby or a sport. It can be something that's either outside of the house that you go somewhere to do, or it can be something that you can do while you're at home. And last, an idea to sneak away during your kids' activities. If you have kids involved in everything from, baseball to swimming, when you take them to practice, instead of always just sitting there and watching, can you run somewhere close by and just grab a cup of coffee and sit and talk, instead of worrying about what's going on at practice? And the last type of goals I want to look at are some communication goals. These are the ones that will hopefully help improve your communication with each other. One thing when you're trying to have a discussion, one thing you can set a goal for is to decide to start your discussions on difficult issues with the word I instead of you. It helps to improve your chances of being heard because your spouse doesn't automatically go into defensive mode. For example, you could, instead of saying, you could say, I wish you would notice how much I do for the family. Or instead of, you don't see how much I do each day. So you're talking about what you need and not going with an accusatory tone. Then also try to be more specific when you bring up issues. Don't say things like, you do that all the time, or you never help me. They're not really productive. They don't give specifics on what you would like to see. You can make a point of expressing your negative feelings constructively, because there's going to be times when you feel bitterness or resentment, disappointment, and these feelings, you need to communicate these feelings so that change can happen, but you need to do it in a thoughtful, calm, and loving way. I missed the first one here. Another goal is to decide that you're not going to try and read your partner's mind. It just causes misunderstandings to escalate. You don't know what your spouse is thinking, even if you think you do. You need to allow them to express their own thoughts and feelings about the situation. And the last one is try to listen without being defensive, because no one's perfect. Listen for ways that you can do a better job at being a spouse. So today's goals, today's challenges are, first of all, to brainstorm a list of goals that you may want to set in your marriage. And you can list both goals that you can accomplish independently, as well as those that you would need to work on as a team to achieve. So make a list of a bunch of different ones. And then pick one of those and use the fill in the blank framework that we looked at earlier to write down one goal that you'll start working on today. So this framework is in your workbook for you to fill in, and there's also some room for your brainstorming. There's so much else to say about goal setting. This was just an absolute quick, down and dirty, this is what goal setting is. There's so much that you can do in order to set goals in your marriage. Just don't have time to talk about all of that today. That's for another time. So take some time today, look at these different things, look at these two different challenges, try and complete them, and get ready for tomorrow when you find out some things that you can do to help continue those small steps you may have taken this week. Okay, goodbye.